Evening anglers. Well, welcome back to The Average Angler, episode 2. If you made it this far, you must have watched episode 1, which was just a cracker. Anyway, jokes. Nice little, we'll start with some socials this week. So, was watching around on Facebook, Kubi Dam social fishing group, so joined that as part of the eligibility to do the Kubi Classic. And Nita Payne, so she's one of the admin on that group, picked up a really nice cod this week on a ZX. I take it probably deep jigging for some yellow belly. Don't know whether they got forward facing or whatever, but yeah, really nice. I would imagine it looks like, I don't know, 70, 80 centimetre. So if you're keen to have a look, go on that Kubi Dam social fishing group and have a look and see what you think. From both of the groups up there, seems to be fishing really well for yellers. Obviously a lot of the guys and girls that are up there, a lot of family, a lot of kids, do a lot of trolling. And then obviously once they find a few, they start doing a bit of drifting for some ZX, that sort of stuff. From the boats that I saw set up there the other day, they all had, pretty good gear. So it's not backward in what they're doing. It's probably just not straight up forward facing. So pretty cool. The dam's only small, so if you're ever keen to try something different, where it's just all yellow belly, it only seems to be yellow belly, tendinous cats, which is your eel tails, and cod. So, and spangle perch. So there are a few mongrel things in there, but when you're trying to decipher what you're seeing on your graph, sometimes it's nice and relaxing to go, that large fish there is definitely not a this or this. When you take a few of the varieties, like when you go to Wivenhoe and you've got all the caddies and the lungfish, which everyone chases around thinking they're big cod or something. I was certainly guilty of that on my last trip, and I can see why some people catch them on vibes, because they try and annoy the hell out of them until they do something, thinking that they might be a cod. But anyway, so other stuff on the socials that I'm seeing, a couple of legends of the sport, looks like they might have met up at Maroon for a bit of a surface action. So yeah, I can only imagine how well that's fishing out there, and I couldn't afford the fuel to get out there this week, so I just had to go and flick my buzzbait in the river. Ended up neck deep down at 20s, doing a crossing and out the other side through that bit of rainforesty bit down the bottom, but no takers. It was dead quiet the afternoon that I went, and no slurps, no nothing. And then we moved to Mulgra. Well, Mulgra seems to be, by all reports, firing on 12 cylinders, and some really high quality fish there, and in good numbers. So let's hope that Mulgra can stay motivated and make it through these first couple of comps this year, and provide some good competition. Other things on the socials I noticed on Tackle Lane, during the month of January, they're doing 30% on all depths lures. So if you were a person that likes to do the big gliders and that sort of stuff, don't know all their names, they've got little ones and big ones, and so basically if you're fishing for cod or excuse me, Chico, can you please go to bed? Go on. One mongrel dog. Yeah, 30% off January. Get across and check them out. So that is Tackle Lane. Going along to YouTube. So watched a bit of Carl today. He did a little video. He hasn't done much. This was a pre-Christmas one. Carl fishes his local, and just basically announcing that next season he's going to do two, maybe three Hobie events, and so he goes out for a 45-degree Fahrenheit jerkbait bite, which is pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool to have that sort of fishing at the bottom of your hill or in your little estate or whatever. Like, I'm a bit blessed here having the river behind us, but at the same time, I don't get down there that often. So ideal worlds. The next one that I think is worth watching, which got me a little bit inspired, although I'm not going to act upon it, was the most recent Bassflix one from Norio. So he makes all the Nori stuff. Obviously, you have to speak Japanese to listen. I don't, so I just watch it and listen to his gibber. So he fishes with a guy called Yoya. I don't. Anyway, that's my best attempt. And they fish in a small creek. Looks like a tidal. Reminded me of a brim dash jack fishing. Lost for words. Bit of a trip, maybe up to Roy's Road, that style of thing with an electric, and they were just flicking little tiny brim lures, and obviously they're going for bass, so still having spinnerbaits and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. I reckon I recognised some mangroves and stuff there in amongst their cane, and and road crossings and culverts and stuff that they were hitting. So pretty junky at the same time, but it really had that feel of fishing, like even down fishing for brim on the Gold Coast when you go up the top of some of those canals and you start hitting the creek before it comes into the canal, and it's really stormwatery, but still obviously salt. So there's two. So Carl, get across on his channel, and Bassflix as well for Norio's latest one. It's only, 15 minutes long or something. Two podcasts that I'd recommend for the week. Now, The Bilge is run by Chris and Trey Zaldane. You might all be familiar with that pair, husband and wife. And they interviewed Randy Blockett. Now, if you're not around or you don't watch enough of the American stuff, then obviously he's an old pro that's been going for 35 years or something. I don't know, hell of a long time. I think he started pro fishing when I was in 91 or something like that. So anyway, he's become quite a big YouTuber, and since he doesn't seem to be able to keep up in the opens to get back into the Bassmaster Elites, he's sort of taken to YouTube with a lot of ferocity, and he's doing like 3 videos a day, and he's anti a lot of stuff, but he's really just quite provocative to get all that clickbaity sort of stuff going. So I was really hesitant to listen to him, but at the same time I'm like, no, I'll give the guy a go, because I did subscribe to him way back at the start, and then it just became way too clickbaity. Like I'm dying one day and I'm doing this the next, and the next minute my house blows up, and it's like none of it's true. It's like whatever. So I gave up on him, and I wasn't holding out too much hope for the interview, but it's actually just an old dude's opinion on how it's all going, and it was really quite down to earth and no clickbaity sort of shit about it. So the three of them had a good chat. I think they were all surprised, and so well worth it if you've got the, hour or so while you're mowing the lawn. That's what I do. Another one that I regularly listen to. Now, I'm only an every now and then brim fisherman, but it's the Brim Fishing Project, so an Australian podcast. Andrew Deeth, and so it's always a good listen. Keeps you up to date with that local brim scene, whether it be the kayaks or the ABT stuff. When he first started, he kept up. Then he did a few interviews with the main players, the top fishermen, and then he did back history sort of stuff, catching everything up to date from the last 5-10 years or whatever. And now he's sort of more just current, banging them out. So not that many a week. But again, just to keep you up to date with everything. There's they go through the top 3 fishermen for each event, and they go through their styles of fishing. And I'm always interested in that sort of stuff, so it just gives you the ideas of, you know, how you can relate it across to what you're doing, and any little tips you might pick up about fish care or how they're rigging something, or whatever. So it's boat control. Sometimes they're in yaks, sometimes they're in motorboats. So no, that's kind of about it. Oh, another one. Last time I was in Charlton's, they had, now I've forgotten the name of it. Damn, forgot the name. American rod group that's come in. As you go in, walk in the main door behind the freezer, there are, oh dude, that's really annoying. There's a nice series of rods there. They're up in that sort of Daiwa Commander sort of price bracket, and sort of got a large warranty on them, and they've sort of got a lot of different styles. So there you go. I'll play dumb. Go in, have a look, then you'll know what I'm talking about. And so they are advertised on Bassmaster and stuff like that. American, I take it American made. So pretty cool. So outside of that bit of gear, I don't have a whole lot more. I did go fishing yesterday. Just went out to the local, and still dialing in the water snake. Pretty happy with it. But I had watched a few videos on how to muck around with your Lowrance, and so changing, you know, the setup of how your screens are when you're multi-screening, and how you press the power button to adjust it. It's like this extra menu. And so while I was doing that, I've touched the brightness of the screen. So here I am on Friday morning, 6 o'clock. The sun is just shining so strong in my eyes, and here I am swearing because I've got this blacked out screen that I'm taking my glasses off, and I can't wear my sunnies, and really struggling with it all. And so I'm sitting here trying to work it out. I'm like, why isn't it in the setup? Why isn't it in the menu? Blah, 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 blah. And I fished for like 3 hours with this blacked out screen, just getting angry. I could only fish in the shadows of the cliffs, or, the mountains, or whatever. And it's like, And then it was like, oh, YouTube wasn't working, so I couldn't, because there's no coverage. I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. So I can't even search it up. And then I was just fishing along, flicking crankbaits at the bank, because I had to really dumb it down. So here I am just using like a target lock, not target lock, like a, where you're just cruising on that one path on the electric motor, and then turning it off, and then spot locking, so that you're not doing that big brr, 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 brr. So just letting it come to a rest softly, and then pressing it on, so that then you don't do this like motor spins and takes you back and all that sort of stuff. And it just went light bulb in my mind. I'm like, oh, you press the power button again, and the extra menu come up, and there it was, brightness, and I just turned it up to 10,000%. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. Once that happened, then my mind just, like, I could see everything, I could breathe. I still hadn't run out of time for the day, and I calmed right down, and yeah, came up on this rocky drop off on the back of a point, and found some really active bass there, and I was getting close to cut off as far as getting home for see the missus, and yeah, found them, tried cranks, tried a few things that I'd been flicking all day with nothing, and then just tied on a I don't know, Western Union. They're those half ounce blades that you get from they're a JDM one from Charlton's. I can never, it's Union in their name anyway. Gold one, flicked it out, watched 4 to 5 bass. I didn't know what they were at that stage. I was just, fingers crossed they're not caddies. And yeah, on the drop, boom, one, got it in. flicked it out pretty much up onto the point and pulled it off. And next one, bang, and that one felt like it was like a little caddy, and but it ended up being, if you saw my Facebook there, it was the larger of the fish, and it was just hooked, one on there and one up the side, so I was doing a bit of a clang, more like it felt like a caddy, and got it up, and then as it sort of came up into that 3 metre zone, it's then taken some more massive big runs, which I'm like, ah, and so that was pretty cool. And then, yeah, cast it back out and got my third, and it was a bit smaller, so probably back down in that sort of 38, 40 sort of range. And so no, come away feeling really good, because again, that was all on spot lock, and with that old motor guide that was cable steer, I couldn't fish that way. I was always just banging banks, and when that ran out, I could go out for a little while and sit in the wind, but this time it was like, no, I was just out in yeah, she was strong. The boat was just holding there on like number 2, and just so comfortable to be able to retie or whatever, to breathe, deal with your fish, not lose your spot. So just magic. So it doesn't matter what brand you buy, they're all going to have that same sort of thing. I've just called Clinton Budget Man. So I'm happy to have it. And yeah, that's about it for the night. So yeah, again, it's episode 2. So if you've got any ideas, message me in the background. Obviously, I can't come up with anything more comp-wise because we're still weeks away. I'm sure everyone's getting out and pre-fishing maroon and muggera, and the odd person might be real keen and hitting hins, but I think with all that rain, we've got to let everything sort of settle down that might have been in that zone. Wivenhoe's had about half a metre in it, half a metre to a metre. It looks like it hasn't quite come up to the grass that was around the edges. So no, it hasn't flooded any grass anyway. I think they closed it there the other day as per the alerts. The water in Wivenhoe is still, clear to green, that pretty normal sort of greeny sort of colour that it is. Didn't see any mud lines or anything. And but I would imagine hens would be crazy. And maroon, I'm not sure about maroon, how much rain they would have had. But sometimes you can fish really well with that inflow. So yeah, anyway, that's it for Average Angler episode 2. Cheers, guys.